Well, thank you, Chairman. That's kind, and I did want to be here for this panel. I thank all of you for your work and for your presence here, so that we might have an opportunity to discuss the CHIPS and Science Act, which we think can significantly further our position as it relates to American leadership in emerging technologies. That, of course, will be vital to our national security and our economic health in the future. One of the key provisions in the CHIPS and Science Act is the regional tech hub provision. This will activate underutilized and, in some respects, overlooked regions around the country and support the innovation of critical emerging tech areas like quantum and artificial intelligence and some other key areas. My state, Indiana, is going to benefit enormously from the establishment of these tech hubs that will bring together a wide array of stakeholders. It's really why it's so important that we're not only celebrate the passage of this landmark bill, as a number are, but continue to focus on its implementation and fund key provisions such as the regional tech hub provisions. I'll just ask Mr. Clark, sir, why is it important to your mind that we fully fund the CHIPS and Science Act, and how will it directly impact the work that you're doing on artificial intelligence?
Thank you, Senator. It will impact me in two ways. One, it gives the ability to create much more ways to test and assess AI systems for both economic capabilities and safety issues. We DIY a lot of our own evals at my company, and we try and make those public, but it's hard to sometimes. If we can have more evals that are public, it unleashes more companies to build more stuff using AI and creates a huge asset. And the second way is that it can allow us to fund more ambitious infrastructure in the public sector so academics can do more impactful work.
Thank you for that. Dr. Souter, I know you can attest to how the private sector is putting significant resources and sweat equity into the development of quantum computing. Many Americans view quantum as just another pie in the sky, Silicon Valley buzzword that's never really going to impact their lives in any positive way. Can you discuss why, in fact, it's the opposite, and maybe elaborate on the many ways quantum technology is going to impact all of our lives moving forward?
Let me give two examples where I think many Americans, many people around the world are already using quantum. For people who have ever had a knee or a shoulder injury and have gotten an MRI, that's quantum technology. It's higher resolution and usually much safer than X-rays. That technology was developed originally in the United States going back to the 1940s. So people haven't realized they've been doing that. But even more common is GPS. We have quantum atomic clocks in satellites right now that not only give us precision location, and just as we drive, as I got here this morning, walked here this morning, but they give us highly reliable timestamps that we use in high-speed networking situations. If you've gone to an ATM and you see the little printout there of what time it is, that comes from GPS, that comes from quantum as well. So in many ways, quantum is already part of our lives, and it will become increasingly more so.
Those are powerful examples, and in your testimony, you note that through the CHIPS and Science Act and the National Quantum Initiative, the federal government's already taken some important steps to secure our quantum future. But as you mentioned, there's more that needs to be done. What more can the federal government do? What more should we do to ensure the U.S. wins the global quantum race?
Well, I do believe it comes down to talent, and it comes down to skills, ultimately. There has to be somebody that develops this technology. There has to be somebody to use the technology efficiently. So we have to ensure one way or another, either we can train the people we have, or we can get them. Quantum talent is spread around the world, including with many of our allied nations. For example, the Five Eyes countries as well. So I do think we have opportunities to look beyond our borders to get the talent we need to evolve this the way we must.
That's good. And so my constituents who might be watching this would be encouraged to know that the CHIPS and Science Act actually creates some mechanisms and can accommodate crowding in talent and treasure from our closest allies in developing things like the field of quantum. So thank you again all for being here. Chairman?